Hello again, lovely people, and Happy New Year. For those of you watching the release of this video, it's 2022, and I think we're at a good place with Nova right now that I could show off all of her features, and we can work on her gaits a little bit more as we go. But she is walking, she is moving. I do have somewhat control over her. Even her follow mode with the PIR sensors is working pretty great. I'll demo all of that in a little bit. I just wanted to show the IMU unit is also back to working really good. And yeah, I'll be releasing all the updated code and any other the hardware changes for the thermistors, which I'll also talk about in a few minutes. So here's the latest update on the electronics. So I've tested all sensors and everything on Nova. The IMU is working great and everything else. The only issue I'm having, at least, is with my ultrasonic sensors. So I've gone ahead and connecting them up to my little nano board here to test the software at least, and software is okay. So in my case, it's most likely a wiring issue. I haven't had her head off in a long time, so it's quite possible with all the jostling around she's been going through with my testing and setting up of walking gaits that I screwed something up. So have no fear. I doubt it's anything major, and probably not worldwide, and just in my case. And then the thermistors are all ready to go. I haven't installed them yet, as you can still see, but you saw in my last video that this circuit is working awesome. So I decided to create a little PCB for it. And in doing so, I've heard of these before, but never really picked any up or decided to try them. So I just wanted to share with you guys these network resistors. They're pretty cool little devices. Basically, these are, how many are here? I think this is a 10 pin, which means there's 9 1K resistors and then 1 common pin. So all that in this tight little package, it saves a whole heck of a lot of room on your PCB. You can see right there. Otherwise, I would have had to stick 4 separate resistors in there and wire and solder them individually. So that saves a whole lot of space. So yes, I've gone ahead and created a little board here. These 4 wires will go to the nano, and then these are for the thermistors. They're ground and they're, I guess, positive side. And then power. So this board will probably just fit right inside of one of Nova's little nooks for now. I think it's going to be a great update to her hardware, guys. So, to demo the IMU, let's get her off of her stand first. And then on the remote, I have added on mode 5 the ability to turn on and off the IMU, and then other settings I'm going to also control to these switches here. So now the IMU is on. If we go ahead and test Nova like we did way back when, probably about a year ago, she does a really good job once again of maintaining stability on uneven surfaces. Whoop. A little too much for this little board I got her on, but you get the idea, guys. She's back to walking really well. Look at that angle. And of course, she's on a little silicone mat here, so it helps her from slipping and sliding, but yeah. And then again, you can turn that on and off via the remote. So yeah, she's working good. I will demo all of her moves now, and then I'm going to pop into Discord this week a few times to get some feedback from you guys on your ideas on how to help me tweak the walking gaits, because I got to tell you, I'll talk about it as I'm showing her my progress. But it's been a nightmare. I really regret not doing it in full kinematics, but that can always be changed. Any software engineers out there, I know a lot of you guys are working on this project alongside of me, so if anybody can tackle the kinematic software end of it, let's talk. Alright, so let's take a look at what she can do, guys. Okay guys, so as you can see, she actually walks better backwards than she does forwards. It's been quite a challenge. Like I said previous, I regret not spending the time to fully understand and implement inverse kinematics to control these movements, because the way that I've done it is I tried to be pretty dynamic about it to give us things to adjust and between her speed, her step, her stride. But it's quite tedious with lots of trial and error and positioning when I'm coding it like this. And with every little change, I have to upload code and wait for Nova to boot to test it, and it's annoying to say the least. Therefore, I also regret not writing some code for the serial monitor where I could just make these adjustments to movements and settings on the fly and not have to reboot with each change. I did put some of that in the remote, so you can change the steps and the speed. And then I'm also working, one of the biggest problems with all of these gates is really, essentially I think Nova is a little too heavy. Last time I weighed her 7 pounds, she may be a little more at this point, and therefore center of gravity, inertia, momentum, all that fun stuff becomes a little tricky. And this is my first robotics project, definitely my first quadruped. I did a hexapod, but I really didn't get much into the coding behind that. That was more of a electronics learning experience. So yeah, as I mentioned previously too, if any of you guys are really into software and know something about inverse kinematics, maybe we can talk and you can help me out and we can work together to replace the code or supplement the code that I had with some kinematics walking. As you all know, I've done what I call fake kinematics, which I think is about to come up here now in the video, where these moves are also coded with a little bit of math, with a little bit of trial and error, and then, I have, 6 different movements, 6 different axes, I guess you would call it. She can move in XY, roll in XY, pitch in XY, and then yaw, twist in XY. And then she can also move up and down in Z. So yeah, she can do a lot of things in this mode, but I don't think I could incorporate this into her walking gaits the way that I've coded the walking gaits. So if some of you have watched my code videos where I talk about that, it's really done in a sequencing kind of thing. I won't bother getting into it now, but would be difficult to incorporate these moves with my walking gait. So yeah, this is what we have for now, guys. At least she's moving. She's a little clunky. In the previous video here, you probably heard a knocking. That's her hood, her cover is a little loose on mine, I think, and that was making an ugly sound that I was hoping you guys wouldn't hear. But otherwise, yeah, she works really good. After this little kinematics demonstration here, I'm going to demonstrate the follow mode, which is well on the way. The PIR sensors, either they don't see my legs through my jeans, don't pick up the heat through my pants very well, or they're just not strong enough. Distance-wise, I'd have to get pretty close for it to see them. And then you'll see here she doesn't really respond like I hoped she would have, but still not too bad.
There you go.
I was so proud. I really think we can make this much better. Hopefully the PIR sensors, it could be the shields that I have on there, because I'm standing up. She really only has my ankles to pick up heat on, so. But you can see here, I time-lapse it, that, over time, she pretty much follows me. It's definitely going to work with some tweaking and some more work in the code. And that's the other thing, too. I think I can, once she detects you, I think I should lock on a little longer than I do. I'm too quick to let go, because I think also with the PIR sensors, if you stand perfectly still, she's not going to respond or trigger on that. You can see some of that here. If I don't keep moving, she comes near me and then she'll stop. Sometimes I gotta kick at her to trigger the sensor. But yeah, for the most part, it works pretty well. And obviously, once I get the walking gaits working better, this will work better as well too. Okay guys, so yeah, I'm going to let this play out. Thanks for watching. Like, share, and subscribe as I always request, and I will see you really soon.
Okay, kid, think about